In federal court today, prosecutors played jurors' audio of the 4 suspects on trial in the alleged plot to kidnap Governor Gretchen Whitmer.
Yeah, the prosecution says that in one of these secret recordings, one of the suspects is overheard telling his 10-year-old daughter, quote, "Honey, I'm making explosives. Can you move away from me, please?"
News Channel 3's Mike Kravesick joins us live outside federal court in Grand Rapids to tell us more about today's explosive testimony. Mike.
That's right. Prosecutors say it was all part of a plan that included blowing up a bridge to slow police response time. Today, the undercover FBI agent who infiltrated the plot testified here in Grand Rapids. Prosecutors say the audio recordings capture or show that the plans went beyond just talk. That's what the suspect's defense attorneys have been arguing since last week. Undercover Agent Mark Schweers taking the stand to testify against the 4 suspects who knew him as Mark Woods. Woods says he pretended to be an Upper Peninsula resident, fed up with COVID-19 restrictions. Adam Fox was unaware Schweers was wearing a wire during their first meeting in the basement of a Grand Rapids vacuum shop. Schweers says Fox's plot to kidnap the governor was already in the works. In one recording, prosecutors say Fox says, quote, "We want her flex cuffed on the table while we get our pictures taken like we just made the biggest drug bust in history." Fox's defense attorney argues he was high during the basement meeting and during other militia meetings and training exercises. Outside of court this afternoon, he had nothing to say.
Hey, you guys took some shots in there today. We can't talk about it.
Prosecutors say Fox, Barry Croft, Daniel Harris, and Brandon Caserta's anger over Michigan's COVID-19 restrictions fueled the foiled plot to kidnap the governor. Prosecutors also playing recordings of the men building but failing to detonate an explosive. The FBI says it opened an investigation into Barry Croft back in the fall of 2019 when he threatened to kill police officers on social media. Croft's attorney has argued the FBI targeted Croft for his anti-government views.
I thought it was a pretty good day.
What's that? Yeah, could you talk about why you thought that was a good day?
No, we're going to be back tomorrow.
Another FBI informant known as Dan will testify tomorrow. Prosecutors say Dan was the first to notify the FBI about the Wolverine Watchman days after he joined the group. Dan told the FBI at the time he couldn't handle the group's rhetoric.
No verdict yet in the trial of the 18-year-old accused of killing 2 people during a home invasion. Tacario Taylor McMillan is the youngest of 3 siblings charged in a double homicide. Prosecutors say he and his brother broke into the couple's apartment in Kalamazoo Township in December of 2020. Police found Katoya McPherson and Floyd Brashers Jr. shot to death in their bed. His sister took a plea deal in exchange for her testimony against her little brother. The sister told the jury yesterday Tacario admitted to pulling the trigger during that home invasion. D'Angelo Davis, who was also charged with 2 counts of murder, refused to testify against his brother. During closing arguments today, the defense focused on Tacario's brother.
We've been talking about D'Angelo Davis this whole time. Based on the incredible lack of evidence, based on what the prosecutor was unable to prove to you, and based on the fact that the only people implicating Tacario McMillan are people with everything to gain. In this case, the defendant killed Katoya McPherson. The defendant murdered Floyd Brashers. He did it with a gun. He told people he shot.
You just heard the prosecutor tell jurors Tacario told his sister he was the one that pulled the trigger, not his older brother. The defense argues she had something to gain by saying that as part of her plea deal. Right now, an 18-year-old is on trial in Kalamazoo facing 2 murder charges. He's accused of killing 2 people during a home invasion in Kalamazoo Township in December of 2020.
Now, the prosecution say the teen did not work alone. They say he actually collaborated with his 2 older siblings, and they worked together to break into this apartment and murder a couple living there.
News Channel 3's Trisha McCauley joins us live at the courthouse to tell us the evidence shown to jurors today and what prosecutors say was the motive.
Tacario's older brother and sister were offered a plea deal to testify against their younger 18-year-old brother today. The sister did take the stand, but attorneys tell me the older brother, D'Angelo Davis, is not going to be testifying. They say he's pleading the fifth, and now his plea deal is off the table. 18-year-old Tacario Taylor McMillan is the youngest of three siblings charged in connection to a home invasion and double murder in Kalamazoo Township. Tacario's sister, Tanisha Taylor McMillan, takes the stand in her brother's trial, telling the jury what her siblings did in December 2020.
Did you know what they were going to do?
To break in my house.
Prosecutors say Tacario and his older brother, D'Angelo Davis, broke into an apartment on Parkside Drive and shot and killed 33-year-old Katoya McPherson and 36-year-old Floyd Brashers Jr. Prosecutors say the motive was a dispute over a car.
Did the defendant tell you how they were killed?
He shot them.
And you said, you used the pronoun he shot them. Who were you referring to?
Tacario.
And did he say specifically whether he shot one or both?
Both.
Tanisha also told the jury that she found her brother cleaning the gun used to kill the couple and that he confessed to pulling the trigger. She says her brother sold the gun to get rid of the evidence. Today in court, the defense claims that Tanisha is only testifying against her brother to get out of jail.
It wasn't until your liberty was in jeopardy that you pointed the finger at somebody else.
Yes.
Prosecutors dropped 2 counts of felony murder and 1 count of home invasion if Tanisha agreed to testify. She pleaded guilty to accessory after the fact with a maximum of 19 months in jail. She has already served 13 months. The trial continues tomorrow morning. The prosecution is expected to wrap up their case, then closing arguments will begin.